Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 345 for April 10th, 2022. My name is Nathan Reetin. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Roa McFain.
I'm joining this week.
And we have Connor the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
So we watch anime.
No.
So we play League.
Stop. No, we don't
We're
do that
just
one
having
anymore.
fun, and we don't care who sees.
Wait, but we're not doing that.
Shabba-ba-da-boo. Shabba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
We aren't doing that one anymore. Stop.
Welcome to the Nathan Podcast.
Why
didn't you just pay me to do it?
Because
we could have used that.
Technically, we could have used that. I don't think it would have gained or lost any viewership, but that's okay.
I own the rights to my own ramblings, right?
Yes,
I'm
you do.
sure we can't get sued for that. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't get sued for that. I don't think so. I mean, I don't.
No one would listen.
I don't think that Jake owns the copyright for that song. Is what I'm saying. I don't.
Well, he sort of does.
It is a parody of a Snoop Dogg and someone else. I don't know song.
Is it?
Parody is fair use.
The notes are definitely distinct enough.
That's true. Anyway, we also paid for it, so it doesn't really matter. You can use it because I paid $1 for that song.
To be fair, I don't know if that necessarily works.
No, I talked to him about it.
He has permission from the content creator.
Yeah,
I believe.
No, it was just because the implication was that, well, no, it's okay. I paid money for it. That means I can use it however I want.
No. I spoke to.
That's how we get 2007 YouTube again.
I spoke to Jake, but before we started the podcast, or before I took the song for the podcast, and he said, "Yeah, just pay for it, and you can use it on your podcast." And I was like, "Okay." So I paid him. I think it was $1 or $10, something like that, for the use of the song. So, anyway,
the commercial usage rights.
Yes. So we can find all of us at aroa.website. Just go there. All the relevant links are there. Connor wants to plug.
Clinton's Core Classics, A Rise of the Rune Lord's first edition actual play podcast. Please give it 5 stars wherever applicable.
All right. And of course, you can find me, Nathan Reetin. I'm Reetin everywhere. The main one I want to point out is Twitch. I'm on Twitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And go to twitch.tv/Reetin. Press the follow button, and if you're so inclined, press the subscribe button, so I can finally stop working and just play video games for a living. Every boy's dream. Anyway, let's start with Connor. What games have you played this week?
I've been thinking about it. Not many. I gave Triangle Strategy another try because I picked up that game and pretty quickly put it right back down. It's not what I was promised, you guys.
You were promised Final Fantasy Tactics.
I wanted Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's Fire Emblem.
Oh.
It's not the same.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's an okay game. Like, it's an entertaining tactics games, and I do love tactics games, but this is fundamentally not what I wanted or was promised. And phooey, it sure does ruin my mood. I've also been playing PlanetSide 2 because I don't know, I want big battles. I want big team battle, but this isn't it. This is not quite scratching that itch. I'm probably not going to play this. And I keep on saying I'm probably not going to play this again in a week, but
and then you play it again in a week.
I keep on, like, I joined a guild, and every once in a while we play, and it's phenomenal. And then I play with them when it's like 80 people, and it's almost the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I always like the smaller teams when playing in like Halo, and so like I like 4v4 or even
you know me,
duos.
I always prefer the big team battle style.
Yeah. So like fundamentally different in our play styles there, but I can also see, like, say, okay, you like 20 people battles or 20v20, but 80v80 might be a bit too much still. So. And I haven't played PlanetSide, so I can't really comment on that type of battle system.
There's definitely diminishing returns on size. Just at a certain point, it gets so impossible to coordinate if you don't have people who are all invested in being there for the same reasons.
Yeah.
What do you mean? MAG was such a good game.
Someone else was telling me about Mag the other day, and I don't think that's quite what I'm looking for either. I tried Arma, and that was close, but just way too frustrating to deal with all the mods and not having mod support well.
Have
I
you
wish Battlefield 2042 was good, because I think that's really what I'm looking for, and it's not good.
have you thought about playing Escape from Tarkov? Don't
Nah.
do it.
Also, still not what you're looking for, I don't think.
Definitely not what
No,
he's looking
definitely
for.
not. And I kind of value my time, even like if sometimes I need to choose whether I want to like edit audio or play a video game, and depending on what games are around, I will actually do work instead sometimes.
You're like, no, I prefer to do work. That's what
What
I.
sounds more fun, laboring at the audio mines, or I don't know, tolerating? I don't have any good examples here.
Uh,
Whatever
uh,
popular game is going on right
World of
now. I'm
Warcraft.
Yeah, tolerating World of Warcraft. Why would anyone tolerate World of Warcraft?
Yeah, yeah. Why would anyone do that?
Why would I play the new Halo? I don't know.
Do you have a Warhammer Minute?
No, we tried to play. It didn't end up working out though.
That's
Maybe next
the
week.
Warhammer Minute. You spent a minute. You like texted everybody in your group text, and you're like, hey, and they're like, nah. And
Or it
that
was
was your
like,
minute.
we want to do it. We should do it. Okay, let's do it. Oh man, I gotta work that day. It's not gonna happen. Do
Yeah.
you want to do it within like the 2 hours before we play Pathfinder on Saturday? And I'm like, are you fucking nuts? We're not gonna have enough time to play this in 2 hours.
Yeah, you have to
Okay, we
paint all your.
built the map. Tear it all down. We need to play Pathfinder.
Yeah, and then you have to paint all of your minis in that time. That's what happens, right? You
That is
paint them
not
all
what
before.
happens. No,
Oh,
you
okay.
you don't paint them all in one sitting. I've
I
gotten really good at speed painting.
that would be nice. You could start doing speed painting for YouTube. I hear there's money to be made.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's what they mean by speed painting.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Anyway, did you play no other games? So you had Triangle Strategy, you had Planet Side 2.
Right. I don't think I played Space Station 13 again this week, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
Gonna go
That's
back and so much will have changed.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
I
We're gonna
was thinking of picking up that Kirby game. I watched some people play that, and
It
there's
does look really good.
parts of it look really unappealing to me, the arcadified parts of it, but I think walking around with a Kirby that I can upgrade RPG like is actually something that is really interesting to me.
I like Kirby, but I'll probably wait until it, goes on sale in 17 years or something.
And then can I be real with y'all for a second? Just I'm gonna get really close to the mic. Can I get real with y'all for a sec? That Lego game, the Star Wars one, I'm not even a Star Wars guy. That Lego game looks stupid fun.
Lego Star Wars is just a fun time.
The Lego games are surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Everyone I've played has just been a knockout hit. I might pick it up. And I'm not a Star Wars dude. All my friends are, and I know Nathan and I particularly have talked about doing like a tabletop Star Wars kind of thing in the past.
I want to
And
someday.
it's just not something that's ever really rang my bell before, and maybe that would be enough to get me interested enough to at least follow along with what's going on. Probably not, but if not, it's a Lego Star Wars game. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, and most of the Lego games based on movies are they're just a fun time, and they're good. They're not amazing usually, but they're good.
They don't take themselves too seriously, which ends up going for the best of it because you're usually just doing wacky stuff, and I like wacky stuff.
Yeah,
Traveler's Tales is just a really good company.
that is correct. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk to Aroa. What games have you played?
Well, I mean, not a ton. Not gonna lie, not a ton. But I did play a little bit more of the Risk of Rain 2 DLC that came back a little while back. And it almost feels like like it cheapens it to call it DLC because it's essentially like an expansion pack. Like it is so different from the base game in terms of content outside of like all the maps are the same and like all of the old enemies are still there, but there's so many new enemies and new items, and the new characters play so fundamentally differently. Like it might as well, like, you could have sold this as a standalone like spin-off title and it would have worked. uh Makes me really excited to see what Hapu does later, because like, man, it's just really, really fucking good. The Railgunner is without a doubt my favorite character now. Um, and if you are someone who played slash plays Counter Strike and always grabs the op, uh, that's the character. The character is just quick scoping. That's
Oh,
it.
oh, I see.
It's great. I love it. Because her shtick is you uh you hold right click for a second to bring up your scope, and it highlights the weak point on the enemy. And if you hit it, you get a guaranteed crit. And so all items that increase crit chance instead increase crit damage. And like, she also has this ability where it charges up for a few seconds, and then your sniper shot gains a 4,000% damage increase and
Wait,
crit damage.
4,000%?
Yes.
That's a lot.
And- yes. And then also 150% crit damage increase. So if you hit a boss with that attack and you hit the weak point, it generally one-shots every boss
Yeah, I'm thinking.
besides the last
Okay,
one.
so it does 4,000% more damage.
Mhm.
Crit is
Usually double,
usually double, but you get
but
150%.
mhm,
So
and
it's
that's
one
on
and a
top
half
of your
times.
normal crit damage boost.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So it goes from an extra 4,000 damage to an extra
I mean,
15,000 damage.
yeah, probably.
1,000%,
Yeah,
15,000%.
yeah.
That's
Like, it's
a lot.
incredible. Yeah. There's actually there's an achievement for doing like some unbelievably ridiculous amount of damage in one shot. I think it's like 50,000 damage with one shot.
And what game is this
Uh,
again?
this is Risk of Rain 2,
Oh, okay.
the new DLC Survivors of the Void.
I see.
Uh, and
And
it's just really good.
are
I also
they
saw
going?
what?
Are they gonna
Yeah.
nerf that character?
No, there's no
Oh,
way.
oh, okay.
Because, like, to be fair, the trade-off is pretty substantial. She does not have very good movement abilities. Her only real two movement capabilities are if you do your basic shot while pointing down, you can slow down your fall. And then you have these mines that don't do damage, but they throw you really far, and then they
Mm.
throw enemies really far. So like, there's some strategy involved there where you can use them to jump really high, but it takes thinking to do it.
Does she turn into a
Um,
ball when she throws down the
no,
mines? Oh, okay.
no.
Just
That is very much in the same line as to what that is, though.
okay.
And you have a basic shot that's like rapid fire and it auto aims, but it's incredibly short range. Uh, it's like, it's a very, very fun character, and like most of the other characters in Risk of Rain 2, completely different from all the others.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I was going to say, I should also mention. Uh, I saw Sonic 2 yesterday.
I thought about it. I heard some. I read some people on Twitter said it wasn't great.
Well, those people are wrong.
But then I looked on Rotten Tomatoes and it has like an 80% audience score and like not a great critic score.
I think it
but
was 66.
Yeah, I looked at 68. I think is what it was.
Yeah,
something like that. So not great, but not terrible.
As a movie, as a movie, if you are not a Sonic fan, it is at best a like typical family movie.
Okay.
It like, I'd say it's better than like a like a DreamWorks or an Illumination kind of family movie. Just because it's like not quite so Zoomer, I guess.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah, I got
Which
you.
really isn't fair to say, because like Zoomers are like almost 20 now. Kill me.
That's
but
what I'm gonna interject and say that's what I hate when people are like complaining about millennials. And they're like,
yeah,
all
it's
those
like,
millennials. I'm like, you realize we're like 35, right?
there was a
2050 is
fucking
closer than 1980.
Yeah.
there was a trailer for there were like a bunch of animated movie trailers, but one of them was essentially just Kung Fu Panda, but like just nothing but millennial humor,
Oh
and it
man.
was awful.
Oh
It
god.
was just awful. It was like, look at all these celebrities that millennials love who are playing these characters. Look, Michael Cera, Samuel L. Jackson. Look at all these other people. Haha. They made a Twitter joke. Ha Twitter, get it? Ha. Like, oh, it
That
was
sounds
awful.
But Sonic was good.
Sonic was so fucking great. As a Sonic fan, at least. Like there was way too much of the human characters again.
Yeah.
It,
They
it
do
wasn't
that.
as bad as the first movie, but there was still too much of them. There was if you took them out, you would have saved 30 minutes, and it's a 2 hour long movie, by the way. And like they didn't add anything at all.
Yeah. Well, they always do that with movies, even if they're decent movies. Like, I'm not saying
But
these
how
movies are
am I
decent,
supposed
but
to relate to them if there's not someone in the movie that tells me how I'm supposed to feel?
so
But
I
like,
I well, I'm just thinking like Transformers, right? The
yeah,
always way too many human characters in those movies, and I'm just like, we don't
but
need
like,
Shia
okay.
LaBeouf.
But the thing is, even with Transformers, there were human kids in the TV show. So, like,
Mhm.
I get why you would be incentivized to put them in there. There are no normal people who are hanging out with Sonic in any of the games besides '06, I
Oh,
guess.
six, yeah.
But everyone hates '06, so why would you do that? Uh, but otherwise, for the other hour and a half, like everything that is Sonic and Tails was fucking great for being like a video game movie. Like I I loved all the references. They didn't make Sonic too cringy. There was some stuff where it was like, "Hey kids, though if you don't actually know what Sonic is, look at how wacky Sonic is in this movie." Haha. But like all the stuff that was actually like geared towards Sonic fans was perfect. The like subtle nods to like they go into a big labyrinth at one point and like Sonic falls down these alternating water slides and it's like, oh, because it's Labyrinth Zone.
Yeah,
That's fucking great.
that's good. Did they have the Infinity Stones or Dragon
Yes.
Balls or
Yes, they did.
okay?
It the last 30 minutes of that movie, I screamed multiple times.
Does he turn
I
into
was so
Goku?
excited. Yes,
Okay,
and it's great.
we're doing spoilers,
Eggman,
but you
like
can, yeah, you know what's gonna happen. Come on.
you knew, like
Yeah.
everyone knew that Sonic was going to go into Supersonic.
Hmm.
The context around it though is actually pretty fucking cool. Like how Eggman gets his they do the Death Egg robot, and I was so fucking happy. Like the kids behind me weren't doing anything, and I was going, yeah. Oh my god, he's doing it! He's got the Death Egg robot. Like
Then he turned around
I
and shook
was,
the kids. And why are
I
you
was
not
being.
enjoying this?
Don't you fucking understand? That's the best thing that's ever been in the fucking franchise. Fuck you. Like,
Old man
what?
yells at Sonic.
I was so happy. Like, yeah.
For
And
anybody
the only
listening,
way it could have been better is if Crush 40 started playing when he turned Super
Yeah.
Saiyan.
yeah,
Seriously? Like, the soundtrack was probably the worst part of the entire movie.
Oh man, that always ruins it, right?
Yeah, because for some reason they just had to go with like this hashtag like relatable fucking modern soundtrack. And like there were a couple of songs in there that were like, don't worry, millennials, we know that you prefer fucking I don't know, 90s hip hop. Like there were a couple of songs in there that were just like, what? Why?
I always hate
Why
that,
is
like,
Eggman listening to this? I don't understand.
Can you tell me, and just I need to know deep down to make sure that there is the scene where Tails wears his baggy pants and his dark shades and does a freestyle hip hop against Eggman? They kept that scene in?
So you know what's great is that you make that joke, but there's a dance off.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
I know there's a dance off. So I know Aroa could spend hours talking about Sonic.
I could.
So,
I do have one last question before we Shanghai ourselves away from this conversation. Has the release of this movie broken any of your fanfic canon, or is it all still good?
Well, actually, the after credits scene could imply that in the next movie we will see some of that fan fiction come to life.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see. Well, and it did well in theaters. That was a story I saw.
That makes me so happy.
Sonic
like I love that a good video game movie franchise is doing well, and they obviously learned from the first movie.
Yeah,
like they like the first movie did way too much with the human buddies, and this one like I said, there was still too much because it was 30 minutes of them, but the other hour and a half they just didn't exist, and it was great.
Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the movie, rip it to your computer, and then make the Aroa cut.
You know what's great is that as we were walking out, I was like, I can't fucking wait for the fan cut that just removes all the human shit. Because you could just cut them out for all but like 2 scenes, and it would be the exact same movie.
And then they're just like, "Who are you?" And then they moves on to the next.
But like there's only one time really where the humans matter, and it's just like Sonic is snowboarding down the side of a mountain and he can't teleport to Hawaii, and he needs his human friend to use the warp ring to get him back to Hawaii. Like, and that's it.
And it happens right in the middle of a wedding.
It does.
Oh, gee. Yeah. I actually saw that one in the trailer.
Oh,
yeah.
So
I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I have no idea what all they spoiled. That's really dumb that they just gave that away in the trailer, though.
Yeah. So Sonic 2, the movie, Sonic the Movie 2, is now the most. It has generated the most revenue out of any video game movie, beating Sonic the Movie 1, which was the other top
Doom starring Carl Urban in The Rock.
Unfortunately,
that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I'm anytime a video game movie does well, successfully speaking, that's only good. Hopefully they make more good video game movies.
I am looking forward to the Mario movie that's coming out, starring
Chris Pratt.
Star-Lord. Yeah, Chris Pratt. I think.
Like, maybe it won't be bad. The fact that it's being done by Illumination makes me worried. That's actually the only thing that makes me worried.
Yeah. And Donkey Kong will smoke weed.
Well, because like, I feel like millennials are now getting into that industry, and that's why we have the Sonic movies. Like obviously it was made by Sonic fans, so I would hope that Mario fans are going to be in the production team for the Mario movie. And yeah, it's going to have the stupid cringy shit, like Mario's going to dab or something. But I hope that this means within like 10 years, assuming that the world still exists, we get like a Half-Life movie. That's good.
Nice.
That'd
be good. Yeah. Well, there's a Halo TV series now.
Yeah, so, it's bad. I haven't seen it. You also have that.
I'm gonna
They didn't
watch it all after.
They didn't watch or play the video games.
What? Like,
yeah, you didn't
did
hear
they
about
admit that? What? No.
Yeah.
What?
The like writing and production team said they did not consult with the video games whatsoever.
What about
This is the story of John Spartman saving a bunch of human soldiers in the middle of Africa.
Like literally, yeah. It's just like they have the setting and like a general idea of what's supposed to happen, and
Here's what the
make a
enemies
show.
look like. Here's what the guns look like. This is a story about saving people. Go.
I was watching something on, but we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna talk about the games I played. But
Hey, we needed to fill time anyway.
We do.
Right.
We have not very many stories, but I was watching something on that X-Men Destiny game that got made, and one of the people that was higher up in management actually knew shit about the comics, and like he went in and they're like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And they do a boss fight with Juggernaut, and Juggernaut has a life bar. And then the life bar depletes and it goes into a cutscene. He's like, "Yeah, that won't work. Juggernaut's invulnerable. You dumb motherfuckers." And they're like, "Well, what do you think we should do?" I'm like, "Well, you should at least do it so that after so many hits, his helmet falls off, and then somebody like takes control of him like telepathically or something like that." And they're like, "Great idea. We're not going to do that."
No.
And the game was bad because they didn't.
What if he just ran through all the walls and said, "I'm the Juggernaut," and he doesn't say the other word, but you're thinking the other word. And that's how every major studio has handled the Juggernaut for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm bored of it. Fix
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the games that I played. The games that I played some more Fallout 76.
Why?
To the Fallout. Why?
I played and beat the original Fallout, and I was like, all right, started off strong. Now we're gonna play the latest game.
Now let's make a huge mistake.
Yeah, it's like I ate this delicious chocolate cake, and then I thought, I could really go for a cup of shit right now.
The same
I
color.
love this Scrubs show. I'm gonna watch the last season of it.
No. It is way better than it was when it first came out, but it's still not
going to
great.
be much worse.
Yeah. I did a couple
You put
quests.
lipstick on a pig, I still don't want to fuck it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I ended up wandering around doing some quests. I was doing pretty well, and then I went into a building and got to the top of the building, and there was an Assaultron who lasered my face off. So that was fun. Lost a bunch of stuff there. I do have a really big complaint about it. What's that? What are we gonna say?
Well, are you playing it like on an actual server, or like, because you can play it solo, right? Can you play it on like a private thing? You have to pay for it.
You have to pay for Fallout first. So I've just been playing in the open world, but nobody plays it. It is just me. There are some people that play it, but the instances are so minimal. You're not really running into people all the time. When it first started, you were running into quite a few people, but now again, nobody plays it. So there were a couple like people that I ran into, but it's not as bad PvP as you would think it would be because there's no real incentive to do the PvP.
Yeah, so, it's not like whenever it first started where there were so many people that there were enough assholes around.
Yeah, now the people who are playing are just doing it because that's what they want to do. They're not really...
For some reason.
Yeah, and then there are some... every once in a while, somebody will like do a public group and be like, everyone can join a group and do this quest, which is cool, but I've never joined any of those. I've just been doing my own thing. One thing I have a problem with is just like with Fallout 4, there's like the crafting stuff, and there are certain items that are more rare than other items, right? So you're going to find a lot of plastic, but not as much aluminum or titanium or whatever. One of those things...
kill a man over their copper scraps?
One of those things is screws. Like... you need screws for everything, and they are pretty freaking rare. And I have like a machine that's like, I can make ammo, but you cannot. I have tons of metal scrap, but I can't turn any of that scrap into screws. Even though I have all this machinery at my base to make random ammunition and power armor, I just can't make screws for some reason, which is really annoying.
Would you even say that's screwed up?
Yeah, it's very screwed up. And then I played the game I am playing through right now, which I'm trying to beat before I go to the UK, but I don't know if I'll be able to. I beat the first story. There are 5 stories, and that took me about 7 or 8 hours to beat the first story. So about 7 or 8
Star
hours.
Ocean?
It's Weird West.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. And so I beat the first story, and then it seems like your soul is transferring between people. So the first story ends, and that person stayed alive. Like, you can go recruit them with your next character, which I became a pigman, because somebody is making pigmen. And so I became a pigman, and then I went and recruited my old character. Another thing that you can do, which is good, is if you get really nice weapons or something as one character, you can store them in the horse saddlebag, and then when you become the new character, when you get a horse, you get access to those items.
Huh.
So you can start out with some pretty fantastic items that way.
So you're on. Sounds like you're on a CRPG kick then, huh?
There's a couple.
Would you consider Weird West a CRPG?
It's action. It's not.
I thought it was.
No.
Okay. It sounded like a.
It is like a CRPG in the fact that you do level up your characters, you do change out weapons, you can get perks, stuff like that. Like, you can level up, but it is a twin stick shooter for the combat.
Huh.
So it's pretty good. I think you might actually like it, Aroa.
It's like a Diablo-like, but everyone's ranged.
Yeah, you can also get like when you start off as the bounty hunter, you start off with revolvers. But when you start out as the pigman, you have a shotgun and a cleaver. And you can get shotguns and ranged or pistols, and then there's rifles and melee and bows.
This
and
actually does look really good.
It really is. And it's included with Game Pass. And that's why I got it. It's so good. It really is good.
I have so many things I'm trying to play.
I know. But it's good. So I played that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It was really fun. And then I got my Xbox Series X.
Oh boy.
And so I loaded that up, and I know I can play it on the PC, but I was like,
played all the same games that you already have access to.
The only thing that's different, they do have some games that are released on the Xbox Series X that are not released on the PC.
You also get like all the backwards compatibility shit.
Plus, you get all the backwards compatibility stuff. So I downloaded Rare Replay. Which was pretty cool. But I was like, you know what? I've heard good things about this game. I'm gonna play Tunic, and I don't like it. Like, the combat doesn't feel as good as I would like. The rolling seems like there's a little bit of a delay when you press the roll button. The blocking has a little bit of a delay. Like, everything's just like a quarter of a second behind, and I don't like it. It's like everything's just a little clunky. And then Connor watched me play it a little bit, and it's very, like, they don't give you any direction on what to do, so you're just kind of wandering around trying to figure out what to do. It's a pain in the ass.
This game was inspired by the original Zelda just a little bit, in the sense that where am I, what am I doing is a very frequent feeling unless you already know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. It is definitely inspired by Zelda, and they said it was inspired by Dark Souls as well. So the combat, even though it's isometric, that's another thing I don't like. Is I don't like the isometric camera.
I don't think that Souls combat works in an isometric perspective.
I don't
I've
think
never
so either.
seen a game that does that well.
And the isometric perspective, like with Fallout, I just played through Fallout, and there were some things that I didn't like about it. Like there's some stairs, but for some reason the stairs going downstairs is the same color as the floor you're standing on, and it's hidden behind a wall. So you're not necessarily going to be able to see it unless you're specifically looking for that. However, I don't think that those developers meant for that. They were just using what they had 25 years ago, and that's what they came up with. But Tunic intentionally hides things behind buildings all the time. Like every building has like a hidden path behind it that leads to another area in the game, and I fucking hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah, so a lot of people really like it. It's a very cute game. I'm not a huge fan. I think Roguish Bard said that she thought, "Oh my god, it's so cute, but also looks frustrating." Yeah, it is. But Weird West though, Aroa, I suggest you play that. I also did play one more game for about 15 minutes today. We actually spoke about it before because it actually looks pretty good, and I played a match and I lost, but that's okay. It's like Overwatch with Gundams. It's Gundam Evolution.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I haven't played it enough to be like, oh, it's amazing or it's really bad. But it was all right. I had some fun. They're doing a play test this weekend that you can sign up and get into. Durga posted something in our Discord, and there's a beta section or beta keys section, and I put that up a while back. Rarely utilized, but if you guys see a beta for a game or an alpha, something like that is free that you can get into, just post in there, and then everyone will be able to sign up and take a look at that. Or if you happen to get a code that you don't want to use, and just be like, if anybody's interested, pop the code in there. Anyway, we are going to move on, and we're going to talk about some news stories. Are you guys excited about the news stories this week?
Oh yeah, that's what the idea behind this show is, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Good faith in reality.
Yeah.
Good faith in humanity. It's everything's going great. No issues here. Why are we wasting energy and resources on these?
Yeah. Do you guys like driving games? Like racing games, like Gran Turismo or Forza or Hang On?
I don't care for them. I know Forza 5 is like super popular right now, though.
Horizon. I think Horizon.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Forza Horizon. You know, I'm honestly, if I had the expendable income, I would absolutely be one of those people that like has the equivalent of a HOTAS setup, but for driving.
Oh my god, those I don't like driving games that much, but those setups are so sweet. Yeah, they're so cool.
Like I'm terrible at racing games, but I feel like it would still be fun as fuck if I had one of those.
Yeah. And what if you don't know what we're talking about like the steering wheel that clamps to your desk with or not even that, like they actually have like whole cabinets you can do.
Oh yeah.
But like
you can go nuts with that shit.
The steering wheels that have actual feedback and the pedals that you put down on the floor and can use again that have actual feedback, that's amazing. And yes, you can do the whole setup where you have like the gears, like the stick shift with the assembly, and it's like $2,000. Yeah, you can do
I've even seen it where like they have like that arcade cabinet that some places have where like it has a counterweight in the back that like slams back and forth whenever you get hit or like whatever.
I remember somebody, when Elite Dangerous first came out, they had like a tracking camera that they put on their head. There was like a camera, and then it tracked like a thing on what's on the head, and they had 3 projectors set up,
Oh my god.
and they would use it was like in VR, but without the VR, so he would move his head around and it would move on the projectors.
I mean, if it works, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
But anyway.
So are we talking about something cool like that?
No, we're talking about NFTs.
Oh.
Yeah. This is from TechSpot. It starts out with facepalm in what is yet another warning about the inherent dangers of NFTs. A game powered by NFTs was just shut down after 3 years, leaving those who spent thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars on F1 Delta time left with virtually worthless digital assets. They are not.
Yep.
They are not virtually worthless. They are actually worthless because NFTs are fucking stupid.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Things look way too much like the fall of Rome to be investing in imaginary things like NFTs.
Yeah. It says here, there was a lot of interest in the title as it offered an official F1 license and promised users the chance to play to earn. I hate that, by the way. Don't ever play a play to earn game because you will not play to earn. It even held the record for selling the most expensive NFT in its launch year, an in-game car that went for $100,000. But apparently it was bad.
Yeah, Ma. I just bought a car. You're not gonna believe it.
For $100,000. 3 years after Arrive, F1 Delta Time is closing down following the expiration of its F1 license, which has not been renewed. Publishers Animoca Brands said that the owners of digital assets used in the game would be rewarded for their loyalty and support. Sure thing.
Sounds a lot like that Pride and Accomplishment post from a little while back.
But rather than exchanging the NFT for crypto, owners can swap them for tokens used in a different racing game. So if you spent $100,000 for an in-game car,
don't worry.
We
have different funny money that you can exchange your funny money for.
The person who paid $300,000 for an F1 Delta Time NFT is unlikely to be happy. So don't support NFT things. It's dumb. We're just gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about our next story.
I just want to know though.
What?
Like, I want to know if the entire NFT thing, is it being run by people who are aware of how stupid and ridiculous it is?
Probably.
And they're just taking advantage of stupid people? Or are there really a bunch of earnest people who are like, no, I'm taking back currency by selling these funny tokens?
This is the new. So I think people are kind of becoming disillusioned with crypto.
Yeah, they are.
And this is the next. Hey, when Bitcoin came out, we all knew about Bitcoin when it first fucking came out and was like $1.
Yeah.
And we are all stupid for not getting it.
Well, yeah,
but
we didn't know.
We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how the world was going to end up. We didn't.
But
know, those were good times. Remember, Obama was president. Economy was doing good. Trump didn't exist. It was great. It was great.
He didn't exist.
He didn't exist until 2016.
He wasn't born yet.
He wasn't born yet. But good days. And we didn't know everything would go to hell in the next 10 years, but that's what happened. But we knew about Bitcoin, and we said to ourselves, nah, that's not going to take off. And I think other people are like that. They probably figured out about Bitcoin way after we did. But, still learning about it in 2015 when it was $5,000 per Bitcoin. or like, you know, a few $100 in for a Bitcoin. And now it's worth, even when it's lower, it's like $30,000.
I guess I see what you're saying, that like people see what happened with crypto, and now they see NFTs taking off, and they're like, oh, this is going to be the new Bitcoin. I got to get in on this on the ground floor. But they're doing it without understanding anything about how NFTs actually work.
Well,
and
that's human nature. I mean, we can look all the way back to the fucking gold rush. Like, how many millions of people fucking went to California hoping to strike it rich?
Well, like, I get, because this has happened. What was it? What was the thing? The flowers. There was some flower in like Switzerland or something.
I have no idea.
It was like 50 or 100 years ago. Like, there was this crazy thing. It's more akin to whenever everyone was buying toilet paper right at the beginning of the pandemic. But it was like, oh man, these flowers are hard to find. They're going to be worth a ton. And so then everyone and their brother was buying, like, they were going out and harvesting them and buying them, and it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy where like they wouldn't have, but everyone went and bought them and made them scarce, so now they're worth a bunch.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of what happened to crypto too. Like, you had enough rich morons who went and thought, oh, crypto's going to be worth a ton of money. I'm going to throw $100,000 into this. And so they do that. And because of the way that crypto works, it just artificially inflates the value of it.
Yeah.
Because this moron thinks it's valuable, that means it is valuable, because it's not real.
You know, the funny thing is,
that's just also how the economy works.
That's also how stock market works.
Yeah.
Rich people think that it's worth something, so eventually it becomes worth something.
I recently learned that's literally how so the way that people actually make money on the stock market is through like options trading. And I recently did I think it was a covered put or a covered call. I can't remember which one is which, to be honest. I have to look at it. But basically I said, this stock is gonna go up. So I'm gonna buy it at this price right now. And or like I said that it was gonna do something.
Yeah.
And I put a certain amount of money down and said, it's gonna do that. And at the end of this, you gotta pay me this arbitrary amount for that stock. And it's literally just a bet. And then somebody else has to take the bet. And I went into it acknowledging that it was a stupid bet, but I had nothing to lose on it.
Oh, okay.
And so someone else took it, and I made $10 off of nothing.
That is
because people with a decent amount of money are just stupid, and that's how the stock market works.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to our next story, because I just want to stop talking about this. There's a new Star Trek game coming out. Everybody, you hear about? You hear about this? So the other day I didn't ever, because I pay attention. I go to MMORPG or Massively RPG or whatever it's called. Massively OP.
Massively OP.
That's it. Massively OP. They are the when Joystick went down, I think it also took their MMO site down, and they created Massively OP after it died, I believe. And so I go there. I go to Destructoid. I go to Rock Paper Shotgun. I go to a lot of different places reading about video games, trying to get news stories that I think would be interesting. I'm like, I haven't heard of this game, because I was watching YouTube late at night, and I actually texted when I don't have access to Discord, I will text Aroa stories. That way I can look back and remember which stories I want to talk about. And so I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm seeing a trailer for a new game called, Star Trek Continuum. It looks like it's going to be an MMO, probably a mobile thing. So I looked it up, and it allows you to buy and sell ships and stuff, and I think that's neat. Oh, it's NFTs. There's more.
This baby can hold so many JPEGs. Slap Starship.
Oh
and
God,
and
this is so bad.
Who asked for this?
And I was confused because in the trailer I was like, "What the hell is this?" It's narrated by Captain Kirk.
Of course,
it's narrated by William Shatner. So shame on you, William Shatner.
You can't. What's the dude got now? What's he doing? He made an album where all he does is talk like a weirdo, and that's like the music album.
I told you, I've mentioned on the podcast before. There was a time because William Shatner's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I just thought you guys should know that. And he came back for some reason. This was like 10 years ago or more, and he did a couple segments where he did spoken. His singing, whatever it was called, spoken.
His weird fucking spoken word shit.
Yeah, spoken word entrance themes for wrestlers.
Time to play the game.
Yeah, actually, yes. He did that.
Can I ask if Kirk was in this like was his character in the WWE anyway like a captain or sci-fi fantasy bullshit nonsense?
No,
how handy was it? How handy was it?
He's just William Shatner. I think he did punch out a wrestler. I just forget which one. You need to see this, huh? Yeah.
I need to find this.
Okay.
You say punch, but I'm really hoping it was like the Star Trek
the
karate
two-handed
style. Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna get onto the story. Yes, Paramount Global is getting into bed with Recur, a company in the business of creating innovative NFT experiences with the biggest brands in films, TV, sports, and pop culture. Again, this is from Massively OP. To create Starship NFTs based on the Star Trek IP, which in turn will be used in an upcoming play-to-earn game known as Star Trek Continuum. The Starship NFTs in questions would come in one of 6 classes, will all have the artistry of a bored AI, as they will be algorithmically generated in order to ensure no two ships are the same.
Oh boy!
The Starship will be necessary in order for people to play Continuum, buying in to get a ship, and thus they will be able to play the title. So I know you guys have
$250.
Yeah.
Look at my runabout NFT. It's a bunk bed.
You know, you could and that's it. Like, you cannot get a $60 starter ship or something. Every ship is $250. I mean, say what you want.
What other game has algorithmically generated ships?
Yeah, they're an AI
No Man's Sky.
Very hard for that $250 worth.
No Man's Sky has algorithmically generated ships, and it had that back when it was a bad game.
I'm gonna say, like, No Man's Sky has turned into a really good game. I haven't played it in a long time, but they generally have worked on it and wanted to make the game as good as they could.
It's not even close to the same game anymore. I mean, I only played it like a year or two ago, and even at that point, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And like, they're doing that off the funding that they got from the initial like buy-ins and then like all the people that have bought it since then.
Yeah.
But still. And then you have shit like this, where you've got fucking algorithmically generated ships, which just basically means they modeled a bunch of parts, and then an AI will random generate a combination of those parts.
Yeah. So it's 200, and here, I was just thinking, Star Citizen, they are making you buy ships, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to buy a ship to play the game. but they have a $40 ship.
Yeah.
Like, and that
Don't you also have to buy insurance for the ship?
No. You can I think that's included for your first ship.
Guys, I don't like that
okay.
this is what games is now.
Yeah.
Can we go back to what games
and,
used to be?
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. With Star Citizen, if you play the game, you can buy the ship. Like, you can earn money in the game and actually buy ships, just like you can in Elite Dangerous. So this is worse than Star Citizen's money-making scheme. And Star Citizen might actually become a good game at some point, where this game is definitely not going to be a good game at any point.
To clarify, though, Star Citizen does have an insurance program.
Okay. I know they do.
You normally pay a premium, just like with real insurance, but you can buy lifetime insurance. But currently in alpha, insurance is just permanent.
Yeah, it's all included, and then I'm not sure how the insurance is going to work, if it's paid with in-game credits or
it is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good, and I would imagine
it's gonna be the same as Elite Dangerous.
Good. Well, that's good then. It says, is continuing on with the news story. It says ship NFTs are being released as part of a Season 0 money-making scheme, with Season 1 involving players assembling a crew for their ships, and then oh god. Oh no. Okay, so Season 0 is where you buy the ships.
Oh my god, it's also an Indiegogo scheme. Oh.
Yeah. Season 1, you have to assemble your crew. Do you have to pay for your crew? I would not be surprised. They don't say it. Season 2 is going to involve
watch the actual game will be like a fucking like drug wars game where it's just all browser based and like you click a few fucking boxes and
it's gonna be awful.
Then it's like your crew's doing the mission. See you later.
It's gonna be a mobile game
in 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
it is gonna be a mobile game.
Yeah. So Season 2,
$250 for a shitty Previa runabout. You're gonna pay $60 to have not Captain Picard in red, but Captain Picard in blue when he did that flashback in that one episode. I think that was the season finale, actually. And could this not be what video games are, please?
Yeah.
Please.
So Season 1 or Season 2 will have the actual game being played, where players can take up missions to earn rare NFTs. Season 3 is also planned for the game, promising new character species and even more from Star Trek. It says those who have been following Trek's official Twitter know that something like this was on the horizon. A teaser tweet was put into the digital ether at the beginning of April. That tweet and the subsequent announcement tweet for Continuum is full of fans decrying the scheme, with many pointing out that NFTs are antithetical to the entire idea of Star Trek. I mean, yeah,
because in Star Trek there is no money.
Yeah, so it's a hope for the future.
Doesn't matter.
Hope for a future where humans have advanced to the point that money and material needs are irrelevant. Apparently, the license holder has never gotten that memo, nor has it paid attention to the fact that having an official license tied to an NFT-filled game is a recipe for disaster.
Referencing back to the thing that we just talked about.
I was gonna say, is it referencing to the? Yep, it did. Okay.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Oh, good. They have the same idea. But yeah. So what the fuck? Stop it. Just
stop putting NFTs in video games. It's not gonna work.
Star Trek Discovery was bad enough.
Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, fucking. This is why when I was talking about the Sonic movie, I wasn't like, and it's a good thing that this is made by Paramount, because Paramount's such a cool company, because they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. Bad.
They are. The next movie, you're gonna be required to buy a $250 NFT to get in to watch the movie, Aroa.
A fucking movie ticket was $15.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so expensive.
Everything's fucking expensive right now. It's
Wait,
ridiculous.
but that's another thing. You never go to the movies.
I don't.
Like, I remember when
He
I
made an
visited.
exception for Sonic.
That's
Yeah.
literally, seriously, the last time I went to the movies was to see the first Sonic movie.
So
The time before that was the first Avengers.
that's so you see it like a new movie in theaters like once every 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget the last movie I watched in theaters, but I haven't been really to the movies much. No, Spider-Man. I went and watched the new Spider-Man.
Which Spider-Man?
The new one.
Like
the No Way Home.
Okay. Because there've been like 8 Spider-Man movies in the last like 4 years, so.
No, there have only been 3 Spider-Man movies. Well, okay,
oh my-
4.
that-
4.
That's just how detached I am from all of that. Because I was like, whenever we were going in, I was like, oh, hey, look, it's that meme movie Morbius. What the fuck even is that? And my buddy was like, it's like a Spider-Man villain, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Well, yes. So they're doing the thing where Sony,
Well, they can't.
like they can't
Yeah,
they can't make the movie with Spider-Man in it.
yeah.
So they
they're
have
just
to
doing the Spider-Man villains.
Yeah, so they have Venom. They had a Venom movie. They had 2 Venom movies and they have Morbius.
But like,
but
who the
like a
fuck's
bad-
Morbius?
Morbius is the living well, so he's a vampire. That's what he is. He's a vampire.
I've never seen Morbius in any Spider-Man anything.
He was in the TV show, the 90s TV show.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, he's in comics and stuff, but
I've played like 8 Spider-Man video games in my life, and I've never heard of fucking Morbius.
I don't think he's been like I haven't played all of them, but I
Like,
don't think he is in any of the
fucking-
video games.
Fucking make a movie about Mysterio or something.
They did. That was Spider-Man 2, the new Spider-Man.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
the more he
mean-
fights Dubstep.
Yeah.
I mean, do one of these. Do fucking. Well, not Doc Ock, because that was basically like what Spider-Man 2 was. It's like,
yeah.
or was it 2 or 3?
Yeah. No, it was 2. It was 2.
Doc Ock was 2.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I saw 3. 3 had Venom. Yeah,
Yeah. Topher Grace is Venom. That's
yeah. It was
Great
terrible.
casting.
yeah. I wouldn't have casted like Brock Lesnar to be Venom. Nope. Topher Grace. That's who we want.
It's okay.
Anyway.
He wasn't on screen most of the time anyway. He was just a big CG monster.
That's true. Anyway,
And he didn't say my favorite Venom line where he gets on the computer. He goes, "Are we gonna surf the web? Surfing the web, surfing the web."
But no, Morbius is in the show. They had to like change him quite a bit because they didn't want him drinking blood, in a kid's show. And so
Sounds like they just shouldn't have put him in the show.
yeah, well, yeah, basically. And they made because they're like, oh, we can't have him biting people either. So they made him have like suckers on the palm of his hands,
That's better.
and he would drain out their plasma.
Oh, just the plasma.
Yeah, just the
So
plasma.
did he have to like hold on to him for like 45 minutes just to get anything out of him?
Yeah, and then he gave him $40. It was nice.
I'm starting to think this might just be propaganda for Life Source.
Oh man, I wish there was a place I could get plasma. That would have
There's a plasma place like over by the Walmart in my town now, and I am so tempted.
When I lived in Chicago, I used to do it, but then
I
again, I was in a place that had that sort of thing available to me.
Yeah, I would totally have done it when I was in college because that would have made my life a lot easier, making like $80 a week.
I used to
Yeah,
live
I
off
wanna-
that, no joke.
Yeah,
I want to like sit in a chair for 3 hours and then get paid $80.
yeah,
I already do that as my day job.
yeah. Like just
I just have data on my phone at the time, so like they give you Wi-Fi. Yes, I will sit in a comfortable chair and dick around on my phone. Yeah, I got a pinch in my arm, whatever. Oh, and you're paying me to do it? Okay.
yeah, and it's anywhere from like $20 to $40.
And you're gonna give me some cookies afterwards?
Yeah,
And
cookies.
because I'm a giant, you're gonna give me another cookie after, even though you normally okay. Thank you, lady. Yes, I'm coming back.
So we're gonna move on to our last story. It's actually a good story. No NFTs. Activision's in a lot of hot water right now, so they're doing everything they can,
So
for goodwill.
I do wonder, before we get too deep into this, if this is Activision Blizzard or if this is Microsoft Activision Blizzard.
Well, technically that hasn't
can't-
happened yet.
And okay, so my company is going through a merger right now, and there is a clear thing they have to do when you're purchasing. One giant company is purchasing another giant company. They have to step back and say the guy who is buying the company cannot do anything until the deal is complete.
Yeah.
So the old company has to remain independent until that deal goes through. So
actually, yeah, now that I think about it, I was part of a merger too a few years back, and it was very much the same thing.
So, they have to do that, and so this is Activision Blizzard. Now, it might be like with super PACs, right? Like super PACs, they're like, we totally aren't like, as long as the candidate doesn't have any input on this super PAC, then it's okay. And the candidate's like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we're all good. So Microsoft might have said, oh man, you know what's great? Hiring QA workers. And Activision and Blizzard was like, yeah, we were getting on that. That's so weird. But either way, it's a good thing that's happening. There are 1,100 QA testers are going to be getting full-time jobs. And that's a good thing. This is from Engadget. Activision Blizzard is converting all of its temporary and contract quality assurance workers in the U.S. to full-time employees starting July 1st. Many of the 1,100 workers will receive a pay raise. The minimum hourly rate is going up to $20 per hour as of April 17th. That's good.
I hope that means that that their QA will get better.
Yeah, the permanent employees will receive benefits, and they'll be able to participate in a bonus plan. So
that's great.
The company says,
and that's not me shitting on the QA department. That's because if I was a temporary worker doing QA work for them and not getting anything besides a fucking cash payout every week, I'd be doing the bare minimum.
Right.
Why not?
It's hard to be incentivized when you're not really making a living wage.
Yeah, well, a lot of times they make up for that. So they'll be like, when I worked at Sony, I believe the QA workers made $15 an hour. But they also got 15 to 20 hours of overtime every week. So,
in other words, they were forced into 15 to 20 hours of overtime every week.
Exactly. They were. It's an unfortunate thing in the industry where the QA workers work the hardest, and a lot of people
still are only getting 20 an hour.
Yeah.
Congratulations, they're all on salary now.
And not even that. Not even that. I know people who have degrees. Like, that's what they wanted to do, was make video games. And so they've gotten degrees, and then they're like, there's no openings for what they need, and so they go into QA to get their foot in the door.
And then they get trapped.
Yeah. It's awful. And then they're contract workers, and we've spoken about it before. You and I have spoken about it with the contracts, is that after 2 years, they have to decide whether they're going to hire you or not. And where I was working, they would let the person go for 3 months and then hire them back on a new contract, because that was the minimum amount of time they had to give them between jobs, without actually hiring them as a full-time employee. It was kind of crazy. It says the move comes in the wake of unionization drive spearheaded by Oh, that's what's happening. QA team members at Raven Software, workers from across Activision Blizzard, staged a walkout in December after some Raven QA contractors were laid off. The following month, QA workers at the studio announced their intention to unionize, which would make them members of the first union at a AAA gaming company in North America. That's what's happening. It says here Activision declined to voluntarily recognize the Game Workers Alliance Union and shuffled some people to other departments. Executives also tried to convince workers not to form a union by questioning the benefits of organizing. Nevertheless, the Raven QA workers pressed forward with their plans and have filed for a union election through the National Labor Relations Board. So, this is something that often happens in the United States, where a company like Activision Blizzard, I gave them too much praise. I guess I should have read through this story more thoroughly. I did read through the story, but my brain sucks, so I forgot some of it. It's something that happens in the United States a lot, where they'll treat their employees badly, and then either a politician or the workers will be like, "Hey, fuck you guys," and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll throw you a bone. We'll just toss you a little bone. Please don't unionize. please don't unionize." It's so weird. I have a coworker who is super libertarian, and we've discussed libertarians are wrong about everything. And so they don't like this person doesn't like corporations. It's like, I hate corporations. He also hates the government, but he hates corporations. But he also hates unions for some reason. And I'm like, if unions are so bad, then why are corporations so scared of them? Like, there's got to be a reason why corporations would spend millions of dollars fighting unions. Yeah. And it's not because it's gonna help the workers or because they care about the workers. It's because they care about their profits and actually not paying their workers. So that's what's happening here is Raven's like, we want to unionize, and I think most likely management at Activision Blizzard is hoping that giving people full-time and benefits, that they can be like, "Hey, see, you don't need a union. We're here for you. We just made you full-time. Come on, please. Please, for the love of God. We
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
We don't want to lose money by having to pay you guys more." Because let's be fair, Activision Blizzard makes so much money, they could have done this before. It says whether Raven workers choose to unionize has nothing to do with the salary increases elsewhere for Activision QA workers. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson told Bloomberg. The spokesperson added that Raven workers won't be eligible for the Raven workers won't be eligible for the pay initiatives due to legal obligations under the National Labor Relations Act. So they're also punishing the people at Raven.
Oh, I get it. Because since Raven's pushing for a union, the company doesn't get to control the wages without going through the union board or whatever first.
Well, yeah, the National Labor Relations Board, the union has not passed yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will. I'm hoping. Microsoft, which has agreed a deal to buy the company for, that's weird. Microsoft, which has agreed a deal to buy the company for $68.7 billion, said last month it respected the right of Activision Blizzard employees to choose whether to be represented by a labor organization, and we will honor those decisions. Good guy Microsoft, I guess.
They just know that they
can't stop it. They
can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Workers at Activision Blizzard have been pressuring leadership on other fronts. Many staged a walkout this week after it lifted COVID-19 vaccine requirements. The company clarified it would allow its studios to set up their own return to office policies. Here's something that I've mentioned to you in private. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. I love working from home.
Yeah.
And I am elated that my job pays really well. You know that. Like, I could probably find a job that paid more money. But I would have to go into the office.
Yeah.
And that is a huge boon to me, not wanting to move to another company ever at this point. Because so many other companies are like, we're going to return to office. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if my boss, I go into the office once a week. My boss was like, hey, you're going to be here on Tuesday, right? We need to do some cleanup in the office and stuff. And I'm like, cool, I can do one day. I do 1 day a week typically in the office, send out laptops, stuff like that. But if my boss was like, hey, we're going to be returning to the office full time. We just need you guys here. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. That's
really rather
that
not.
happened. That happened at my workplace
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. Like, we started going back in, and every single day, everyone except for one fucking guy has bitched about it. And I'm hoping that with enough bitching, the people who run things will shut the fuck up and let everyone go back home.
And
But
they're going to be like, well, David likes it.
Yeah.
And you'll be, and everyone will be
let
like,
David go back into the office.
Yeah, we don't like David. David smells funny. So does Aroa. That's why we want to go. That's why we want to go work from home.
That's why we need work from home.
Okay, I sit far away from everyone else for a reason, okay?
But yeah, like, I think that I know that they were doing. Were they releasing ending the COVID vaccination policy, and that's why they did the walkout? Like, I can understand. Kind of. Like, I work in a healthcare field, and I've got to go into offices. So in Oregon, they have a mandate that that people have to be vaccinated, which makes 100% sense to me. But if you
especially in a fucking medical environment.
Yeah, if you moved to a fully work from home environment, I can understand not having to make the people get a COVID-19 vaccination.
Yeah.
However, I know Activision Blizzard is having people work on site now. And so that explains why when they wanted to relax the COVID-19 vaccination thing, that people were like, yeah, we're not comfortable with that. So we're just not going to be here. So I think that the best thing to do in this case is, and probably for your job too, is have it so if you want to come into the office, you come into the office. If you want to work from home, you have the choice to work from home.
And even, like, I even get it if it's something like, hey guys, we were going to have a team meeting, and like in the interest of collaboration and being able to communicate effectively, we kind of wanted to, we've got like an office space reserved so that we could all come in and do the team meeting. I'd be fine with that, like, once a month.
Yeah. Like, again, I go into the office once a week. That, I think, is fair.
And I'd even be okay with that.
But requiring you to be there you've already proven. You've worked there for 2 years now, haven't you?
2 years we have been at home.
And it's been fine.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone wrong. Everything's fine. So they can make it happen, but they're also paying for this office space that you're not using, and that, I think, is a big part of it. Anyway, do either of you guys have anything more to say about Activision Blizzard other than they suck and you shouldn't play World of Warcraft?
Aroa.
I know that.
Listen, I know they suck. I still eat at McDonald's. I know they suck. I know that they treat their employees poorly.
Yeah, but I love me McDonald's.
Yeah, I had McDonald's
Love a
yesterday.
chicken nuggie. Give me chicken nug.
Yeah. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say thank you for being here, Ro.
Chicken nuggie.
Thank you for being here, Cyberpunk Monk.
You know, I told a coworker about this podcast. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get a little bit better with like the audio engineering and the speaking thing. You know, check it out sometime.
And then chicken nugget.
And then we have our pivotal chicky nuggy conversations.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if it's on YouTube. Go to Spotify, follow, leave us a rating of 5 out of 5. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Donaldo-chan, chicken nuggie, sugoi.